My name is Greg Saltz. I am an applicant in waiting for the Sons of the American Revolution. Today, we are in historic North Cemetery in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where there's actually somebody who signed the Declaration of Independence buried here. We are going to be publicly unveiling 5 granite markers at the graves of 5 patriots who partook in the raid at Fort William and Mary in 1774. So without further ado, let's join the festivities.
A few minutes out of our busy schedules to honor 6 patriots, 5 of whom were involved in the raid on Fort William and Mary, and 1, Brigadier General Wiliam Whipple, as a signer of the Declaration of Independence. These American heroes pledged everything they had for 8 years of the American Revolution so that we can enjoy the freedoms we do today. So let's solemnly remember their sacrifices.
Almighty God, as we gather to honor these patriots today, John Langdon, Brigadier General Wiliam Whipple, Supply Clapp, Edward Hart, Major George Gaines, John Furnald, and Richard Champney, we ask for your blessings upon each of us. We thank you for this occasion to honor their memories. We praise their patriotism, courage, and sacrifices. We are grateful for all American patriots and veterans who have fought for our freedoms and privileges. May we continue to serve you and our nation just as these patriots did. Throughout this service, let us remember the principles of our founders and keep within us their patriotic spirit. Please, Lord, watch over America. Amen.
Lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Americans' Creed, please join me. I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
On behalf of the State Regent Marilyn Houston and the New Hampshire organization Daughters of the American Revolution, I thank you for this invitation to this grave marking ceremony. American Revolutionary War grave marking ceremonies conducted by the Sons of the American Revolution and the Daughters of the American Revolution are significant acts of remembrance that illuminate our legacy of the nation's founding. These organizations play a vital role in preserving American history by identifying, marking, and commemorating the final resting places of Revolutionary War soldiers and patriots. Through formal ceremonies that include historic preservation, patriotic tributes, and the placing of official markers, the SAR and the DAR ensure the sacrifices made for liberty and independence are not forgotten. These events also educate the public, foster civic pride, and inspire a deeper appreciation for the founding ideals of the United States. By upholding this tradition, the SAR and DAR connect the past to the present, ensuring that the stories of the Revolution continue to be told with dignity and respect. SAR and DAR grave markings are more than just decorative plaques. They are powerful tools for remembrance, education, and unity. As the United States approaches its 250th birthday, these markers serve as visible, lasting reminders of the people whose courage and conviction helped birth a nation. Thank you.
From the Portsmouth Cemetery Committee, Susanna Polidoro.
Yes, on behalf of the Cemetery Committee of the City of Portsmouth. I would like to thank the DAR and the SAR for their efforts in marking the graves of those who participated in what we have become to know as the first overt action of the American Revolution. We strongly believe that that event started here in Newcastle. And those men, those that we tracked that are buried in the cemetery, needed to be identified as such so we can celebrate what they did 250 years ago. So we need to remember their contribution. This cemetery is so packed with people from Portsmouth and other places who were significant in the revolution, significant in creating the world that we see today, from the signers of the Declaration to the signer of the Constitution to those who fought with them. And I thank these organizations for the effort and the willingness to be able to preserve our history. So I thank you, DAR and SAR.
Good morning. I'm Ian Noon, New Hampshire Society Children of the American Revolution President. It is an honor to bring greetings from the CAR. This year's National CAR theme is Revolutionary Valor. And surely the Patriots that exhibited the courage to raid Fort William and Mary in December of 1774 were the embodiment of that. It is my honor to remember them with you here today, and I thank you for inviting CAR to be part of this service.
Mark time. March. Forward. March.
John Langdon, born 1741, was a successful merchant, shipbuilder, revolutionary leader, and statesman. He helped organize and lead the raids on Fort William and Mary, was a delegate to the Continental Congress, and fitted out ships for the Continental Navy at his own expense. Langdon became a signer of the U.S. Constitution, served as the first New Hampshire president or governor, and as the state's U.S. senator, including a term as the Senate's first president pro tempore. He hosted George Washington during the president's 1789 tour and remained an influential figure in New Hampshire politics until his death in Portsmouth in 1819 at age 78.
Color guard, present, arms. Carry Barlocks. Okay, folks, we're gonna march up and make a left turn. So you just want to follow the color guard, make room for us to get through, and then you can just we'll route. Order the firelocks. Bill Jennison, Tim.
Compatriots Tim Bilbrough and Bill Jensen, please raise your right hands and place your left hand on the musket. The musket is to remind you that the American Revolution was won by force of arms, with the price being the sacrifice of blood and treasure. Compatriots, to you as descendant of one of the patriots and heroes of the American Revolution, reaffirm your ancestors' faith in the principles of liberty and our constitutional republic. And will you pledge to support the National Society Sons of the American Revolution? Rosettes. All right, this rosette is the official recognition emblem of the Sons of the American Revolution. Its blue and buff colors represent the colors in the uniform worn by General George Washington. Wear it proudly. Compatriots, we welcome you to the New Hampshire SAR. We ask that you work with us to fulfill the purposes and objectives of the Sons of the American Revolution.
Hip hip, huzzah! Hip hip, huzzah! Hip hip, huzzah!
William Whipple of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, began his career as a ship's captain rising from a maritime family before retiring from the sea around 1760 to establish a successful merchant business in Portsmouth with his brother. As tensions with Britain escalated, Whipple became a leading patriot. He served on the Committee of Safety, represented New Hampshire in the Continental Congress from 1776 to 1779, signing the Declaration of Independence in August 1776, and during the Revolution, commanded militia forces at pivotal battles, including Saratoga, where he helped secure the British surrender, and Rhode Island. After the war, he continued his public service as a state legislator from 1780 to 1784, Associate Justice of the New Hampshire Superior Court from 1782, and financial receiver for the state. William was later depicted in John Trumbull's 1821 painting titled Surrender of General Burgoyne that hangs today in the United States Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. Whipple died from heart conditions while traveling his court circuit in Portsmouth in 1785 and was laid to rest here in Old North Cemetery. William Whipple, 1730 to 1785.
Forward.
The son of a prominent blacksmith, Colonel John Hart. He married Elizabeth Colander in 1768. He entered the fort on December 14th and most likely assisted in the removal of the gunpowder. He died on October 18th, 1825 at about age 81.
Where is that? Arms?
That's something Clapp. Suppley Clapp was born into a prominent Clapp family.
John Furnald, 1742 to 1792. John was a prominent Portsmouth resident and coppersmith. During the raid on Fort William and Mary in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, he was among those who captured powder from the fort on 14th December 1774. He was a selectman in Portsmouth during 1775. He signed the association test there on 14th of August 1776. During the Revolutionary War, he was a Madras artilleryman who served in the coastal defenses of Piscataqua Harbor at Fort Sullivan and Fort Washington. He was listed in Captain Eliphalet Daniels' company at Fort Sullivan on 18th March 1776. He was among those who petitioned General Assembly on the 4th of June 1777 and the Council and House of Representatives on the 23rd of September of 1777 for an increase in wages. He was later among those at Fort Washington who petitioned Council and House of Representatives on the 14th of June 1779 to be paid wages. On the 10th of April 1781, he was enlisted as a private in Captain Ebenezer Deering's company, which was stationed at Fort Washington and engaged in the defense of the Piscataqua Harbor. He appeared on a muster roll dated 25th of June, 1781. This patriot died on the 23rd of November, 1792, at age 50 years old.
Color guard, green band, arms. Color guard, shoulder.
1971, George was a cabinet maker and built houses in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, probably including Portsmouth-type balusters. During the raid on Fort William and Mary in Portsmouth, George was among those who captured powder from the fort on December 14th, 1774. He was a selectman in Portsmouth when he signed the association test there in August 1776. During the Revolutionary War, he was quartermaster and mustermaster in Colonel Pierce Long's regiment of Madras artillerymen, which was raised in Portsmouth in August 1776 and marched to reinforce General Ward at Fort Ticonderoga in February 1777. He was a brigade major under Brigadier General Wiliam Whipple and marched with him on September 27, 1777 from Portsmouth to join the Continental Army at Saratoga and then to Cambridge. He was a Justice of the Peace by May 1779 when he recorded an oath from John Langdon in Portsmouth relating to pay for Revolutionary War soldiers. He died on April 25, 1809, at the age of 73. George Gaines, 1736 to 1809.
Richard Champney was born and later established himself as a merchant in Portsmouth, where he married Betsy Hickey. During the turbulent early days of the American Revolution, he took part in one of the conflict's earliest actions, the raid on Fort William and Mary, where he entered the fort and guarded the fort commander, Captain John Cochran. Richard was appointed coroner of Rockingham County in November 1777. He continued to reside in Portsmouth until his death on September 18, 1810, at the age of 75. Richard Champney, 1736, 1810.
Make ready. Make ready. Take aim. Fire. Shoulder firelocks. Here, firelocks. Shoulder firelocks.